Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades as per usual. And let's dive in right into the analysis here on the market. So as you guys can probably tell, we actually had a decent little update today. No like massive rally like I was expecting or anything like that. I don't think I was expecting too much of a rally, but I was expecting a bit of a bounce day, and that's exactly what we got today. Positive by 11 basis points on the SPY, triple Qs 22 basis points, and IWM the biggest winner out of them all. Obviously, we gapped down at the open, but it was rallying throughout the entire day. And if you guys were actually inside the Discord, I actually did share a nice little trade here on the IWM, which was we bought some calls before, and then they went up about 39%. Again, I'm still holding them for the time being. This is actually it. I mean, I'm sharing it now since we're already in profit, so I don't mind if you guys enter. And unfortunately, we did take a loss on shorting weed stock CGC, and that one we just had to stop out risk management because that thing is just starting to take off like crazy, and we got stopped out. I stopped out right before this massive pump came in, so thank God for that. So not you're really gonna get in the way of this thing. I think there's a lot of fundamental news that's coming out for the wheat stock, so lots of pumping happening and lots of short squeezing. I bet is starting to happen. But let's get into it here. I'll continue on the SPY. So it looks like we got another little bounce here. I still expect the markets to possibly continue to push higher in the coming days and weeks. I think an all-time high is probably going to come again. You're going to see stops getting triggered once again with the shorts that shorted up here, who are still holding them. And I think they're just gonna wait until we finally get this big blow off top here. So right now, still tracking this count, and obviously there's probably some smaller counts within here. Another 1-2 setup, and it's just gonna keep doing that, in my opinion, until we finally get that big surge, or either that, or that we finally find the market top and it starts to roll over, the trend breaks. And then that's when we're gonna get a very big waterfall sell-off, and then we will get a bounce. The market will give you an opportunity to get out, and then that's when you want to short the the retest, right? The wave 2 as per se. But let's continue. We'll take a look at market cipher here. So market cipher still continues to be quite bullish. Actually, today we had an 18 and a -5, and when we look at the futures with the new candle, we went from being extremely bearish to neutral. So now we're neutral. You get on the smaller time frames, starting to look a little bit more bullish. I know it's showing an ABC correction, but you still have green money flow, and you got a green dot confirmation of a low. So I expect this to potentially continue to rally higher. But we'll know tomorrow. We'll know more data tomorrow. You got unemployment numbers coming out, and we actually have the non-farm employment data coming out on on Friday. So that's going to be a big game changer there. I'll be doing some more individual names tonight, probably not as much, but just covering the basic ones we've been watching. Again, today, Wave Edge showing no change, no real selling coming in. A 4-hour time frame, nothing new. 1-hour time frame, we got that green cross, and that's about it. And then triple Qs, nothing new there. Taking a look at the 4-hour, nothing really new, and 1 hour, nothing really new. So in the grand scheme of things, yes, big money is selling and taking profits, but they can continue to do this for quite a bit of time, and they may even take profits here, let it run, and then they don't touch it for a while, and then everything starts to roll over, right? Because that's when the retail finally will get fully invested. They're gonna FOMO in at the last minute, but we're getting lots of big moves here in commodities. Silver is breaking out towards the upside. Very happy with this move because I'm holding a significant amount of gold mining companies, precious metals. That is my portfolio, and right now, I'm reaping the rewards finally. But it's been a long ride, and it's people thought that this would never happen, and it's happening because the dollar is starting to take a huge hit. It's starting to reverse now. So maybe this was the sea leg, and it was that small. It made a fractionally higher high. I know it was not much, but that was it. And then this thing's done. It could do that, but I maybe we'd probably be looking at maybe a larger uh, move, something like that, into this area. But we'll know we'll know more once the chart develops. Okay, but right now was a pretty big down day today in the DXY. The yields, however, are not dumping. They are holding strong, and they're holding steady here, and it looks like they want to push higher. But I don't think the Fed is ready to do that, and a reason why I don't know if the Fed has what it takes to actually raise rates higher is because you're starting to see commodities starting to break out. They're starting to call the bluff on the Fed potentially raising rates or being more hawkish. The cuts are coming, right? The cuts are coming, and it's going to be inflationary. And inflation is rising back up, and they know that they're going to cut regardless. So maybe this is why you're starting to finally see precious metals explode and commodities explode towards the upside. I mean, you got cocoa, right? Cocoa futures trading like a parabolic move going straight up here. I mean, this is very, very, very concerning to see commodities just take a beeline towards the upside here like that. So, I mean, anyways, let me continue here, and we'll take a look. Excuse me, at some individual names. Let's take a look at ROKU. We'll start off today with ROKU. ROKU, a bit of a down day once again today, down 1%. I think that this is just more chop, just probably shaking out some weak hands. You can see the dips are being bought here at this level at 61. We are currently in a position on ROKU, full disclosure, so we'll have to see if this one plays out. Let's take a look here at Apple. So Apple continues to like chop sideways here. I think it's forming a nice little base. I think we should start to impulse higher. There's some news that Apple's potentially going to come out with some a big AI, investment on Siri or something like that. But that'll probably be good for the stock. But we'll have to see how everything plays out. Looking quite bullish in my opinion. It's in my accumulation and buy area. Tesla, nice little update today. I know we had some bad numbers the other day on Tesla, but gap lower and just rallied throughout the day. So that was a positive for Tesla. I think this was probably the wave 2, and it could be already in. And now we should start to take off in this wave 3. So that'll be nice to see if we can do that. And then finally, we'll take a look at NVDA. NVIDIA don't have a position in this one, but NVIDIA seems to be cooling off here and could be getting ready for maybe a bit of a downwards dip to the 842 to 763 level, and this would be your dip buy area. Again, if it goes lower, we do have some lower targets in this larger area, but this should continue ultimately higher afterwards. Taking a look at SMCI. So SMCI, a bit of a down day. Oh, sorry, actually, it was an update today, up 56 basis points, but we did gap lower. Technically, I think SMCI should be finished here. I think after this big parabolic move with this pullback here, and then another nominal high with some bearish divergence, you're kind of set up for this. Let me take a look here on the weekly as well. Okay, so the weekly, you could literally just be in this wave 4 and then make a new high after, but you need this pullback and then you can go higher afterwards. But I would be looking between 714 to 483. I know a lot of people are saying that's impossible. That will never happen. You'll never see these prices ever again. It's straight up, right? But this is what Elliott Wave is showing me, and I think we will see these prices. And when it does, you have a great opportunity to buy the dip here if that's the case. Let me take a look at another couple names. Let's take a look at PayPal. Let's check how PayPal is doing here. PayPal looks like it's just inside of its ABC. I think it needs to do one more low. Once we see that the B wave is in and we get one more low, maybe that's when we'll actually look to open a position on PayPal for the long side. Okay, there we go. Fix that up. Okay, now let's move on. Let's take a look at something else. Take a look at some miners. I know a lot of people are likely these miners, very popular stocks, right? Always get a lot of views when we talk about the crypto miners. So again, the miners are bleeding here, and I think that they could continue to bleed. I think we may go a little bit lower in Bitcoin. I think what we're getting right now is essentially, I can very just quickly go to my crypto chart. What we're doing is a double correction with an ABC towards the downside here. I think we need a fifth wave. We'll probably get a flat and another C leg, right? But this, once we get this here, it could technically be done. And you just the Y ends here, but I would like to see some further downside into my larger buy area. But could it double bottom and start to take off because it's so bullish? Yeah, it could, and that's why when we say that we're looking for positions to enter in the miners, it's going to be I'm going to start scaling in most likely slowly as the price dips down into this area. Right, so we already entered it. We bounced, but this was for the A wave. Now we're in the B, and it looks like the B is in. You can calculate a little bit more of a more accurate target, right? So if you go from the top of the A and you bring it down to the B, well, it's actually showing some lower targets. It's showing $8 all the way down to like the zero line essentially. But I would like anywhere within this red area here, which is the larger retrace. I really like this area for a long position. It would be the wave 2 cycle reset, and you start to come down. It would be a nice accumulation zone. But yeah, I mean, if you want to in ABC correction to the tick, and you're really looking for this to play out, but I would look between the 100% retrace, and you'd have to go to zero, but I wouldn't go that low. I'd probably stop out if you're entering some trades there. 50% drop, that should be enough. But really, anywhere in here, if it dips like below these levels here, and you just keep on falling, maybe something bigger is happening in Bitcoin. We'd have to look into it to see what's going on, and maybe we've already put in a long-term top, or the market's crashing, and in that case all charts, probably all bets are off and everything's gonna melt down. But that's not a scenario that I'm looking for it to happen. All right, let me continue here, and I'll continue with TLT. So TLT hitting my buy area finally. So we hit it to the tick. Well, I mean, I should say to the tick, but we hit my larger buy area and we started to come out of it right away. I think, let me just see here on the 1 minute chart, like we gapped down into the buy area, we dipped a little bit lower, and then we shot out of it straight up. So this is showing like strong buying from institutions. Obviously, this is just my Elliott wave target. And again, we can go lower inside of it. I'm not in any TLT trade. And let's just take a look at the TLT to see if we actually did see any significant buying today on the 4 hour or 1 hour. Yeah, so you can see on the 1 hour on the dip today, you did see a good amount of buying from smart money. And it looks like the yields may start to come back down a little bit more. And it maybe, who knows, maybe this was it. This was the low, and now you're going to start to take off, and the Fed's going to pivot because unemployment, maybe the non-farm payrolls are going to get worse, and we're going to get that market melt-up scenario. DXY, okay, I already talked about the DXY. I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have much to add. Just in my current positions right now, I'm just sitting on them and waiting for them to play out. I'd really like the Russell 2000, the small caps, obviously the more interest rate sensitive stocks. I think they will benefit greatly from probably like the news announcement from the rate cuts. But when, inevitably when the recession comes or whatever, that's probably when, these things are going to fall apart, and it's going to mark the top in this B wave, and we're going to start to come back down. Anyways, that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.